Hey, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So this is episode 2 of this new series I'm doing on my YouTube channel of tracking my progress to earn my first Bulenox payout. So quite honestly, I am not super proud of my performance for today. It really is a mixed bag of 50-50. The green, of course, I'll take for the trades that were executed pretty well. And then the portion that I'm more focused on is my risk management that doesn't make me too proud of today's performance. So we are going to jump into the end of day PnLs for the accounts, the status of the accounts, and of course the whole risk management portion. But first, I want to start off this video talking about what I see on the charts and what I was kind of looking for coming into today, FOMC news specifically. So if you haven't already liked the video, make sure you do that, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. So on the higher time frame analysis, I noticed that this looks like a head and shoulders pattern. So shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2. We have the 30-minute demand that was tested literally yesterday on Tuesday. So it was the first time we retested it. And I wanted to see another retest of it, just simply because of the higher time frame pattern. We have a perfect bounce at the same levels. And so I wanted to see the same kind of rejection lower. As you can tell here, we had this move up kind of around the same area of the other previous shoulder. So now I want to see it kind of reject down and then retest this area below. So that's what I'm anticipating for. If we jump down into the smaller time frame as well, everything is marked out per my routine. And I did focus a bit more on initial balance high for today. So I used the 6 a.m. 1 hour candle, focusing on the highs and lows of it and wanting to target both the highs and lows of it as well. So you'll notice that we did hit previous day high already. We took London low, we took IBH high, so I'm sorry, that's 6 a.m. high, the candle high. And then recently we took the IBL, which is initial balance low, the 6 a.m. candle low, and then we just also took the Asian low. The only things that we have not hit so far is the London high and Asia high, as well as previous day low, and then for Monday's previous day high. So I was anticipating a move lower because to retest from the higher time frame pattern, as well as using the initial balance high and low of the 6 a.m. 1 hour candle, taking that high already first, and then now I wanted to take the low of it. Just given that we have news today, I'm expecting a lot of movement in the market, and because I posted my idea on TradingView yesterday, what I was expecting was either we have if and then we push higher. I want to see the daily supply targeted above. And then if and then we move lower, I wanted to see the demand level get retested, as well as if we do end up breaking down this entire move we had to kind of target around here and then lower. Just because FOMC, anything can happen. With news days, as you know, there's always going to be a lot of crazy price action and huge movements, whether up or down. So coming even lower into the smaller time frame, I was also looking for a retest of the 6:30 a.m. New York Open. And if I go into the 1 minute, you'll see that we had this 1 minute imbalance created. And this was actually near opening time and within my execution time. So that time frame I was talking about yesterday between 6:45 and 7:30, we kept pulling further and further away. And as we crossed over that 6 a.m. candle high, the initial balance high of 6 a.m., I wanted to see a rejection to come back lower, since we also filled this 5 minute imbalance to come get that 1 minute imbalance open in my execution time frame. I hope all that made sense, but that's kind of how I read the market, and that's why I was more so looking for shorts versus longs. Now don't get me wrong, I did take some longs to the upside, just given that we had the 15-minute orb and we were closing strong above it. So here's the 15-minute orb right here. We were closing above it on the 5 and the 1. And I wanted to target this 50% of the 5 minute imbalance created here. I also wanted to target for long side a short-term move to this 12 a.m. London Open, which we didn't get there. Totally fine. But at this point, as we start to show signs of rejection, that's when the bigger play of the shorts movement is what I wanted. Now on to talk about my Bulenox status in PnLs and why I feel really mixed about today's performance. So first and foremost, let's show you the status, right? 3 out of the 5 survived, whereas the final 2 did not. And it sucks for the reasoning why the other 2 did not. So here's my PnL, the payout account that is right around the corner. We're sitting at 46.74. made 482 on the day. The next account is at 1873. This is on day 3, I believe, for 593 profits. Third account, I believe this is day 2, made 526. And then for my final 2, max loss, which means I blew both of them. So it is really a bummer having to talk about those accounts simply because it could have been well avoided. But you might be wondering, how did that happen? How did I max loss it when I have personal daily loss limit posted up on my risk settings that I talked about in episode 1? Well, that is the part where 50% of my day was good because I executed well and I followed my analysis and I followed my risk management. As you can see, they all have the $600 PdL on there, except for these 2. I took them off of these 2. And the other crappy part of it is that I believe, I'm not sure which one, but one of the 2, I was in profits already with a base hit on the day. And I could have just locked the account and walked away and just take that green trade and be done instead of trying to chase for more or try to look for more. And as soon as I went looking for more, everything went downhill. So then at that point, I took off my PdL for one account, obviously blew it, then did the same thing for the other and blew it as well. So the 50% was good, as I said, because executed well, analysis was right, respected my levels, was able to adjust accordingly with my trades and be okay with being able to adjust and execute right. And then the other 50%, although it's not so many like red things piled up, the main thing was that I didn't respect my system in place, my PdL. And I didn't walk away and take that green trade and accept it and just leave it be instead of trying to look for more. So it's one of those things as a trader, I think, when we have expectations of ourselves and we try to ensure we follow our plan and our system, and then when we don't, that part feels like really, really crappy. So just want to be honest with you guys about what happened, that I did take off my PdL for 2 of my 5 accounts, and that is the consequence of this mistake, is losing these 2 accounts because I did that. So hopefully this is a lesson, not only for myself, because obviously this is something I should not be doing, but hopefully it could be like a friendly reminder for you guys too, that don't do this. Leave your PdL on the screen. It's not worth it. Now, I'm very grateful that the account that is like right around the corner, I was able to be okay with it. And obviously I'm getting that much closer to a payout. But imagine if I took my PdL off of this one and, price ended up moving against me and I don't have this on here, then the payout that is right around the corner would have been lost. So it's just not worth it. I can't stress it enough. Leave your system in place. Please use this as a friendly reminder. So I'm trying not to beat myself up too much about it. That's why I'm trying to be on the 50-50 line. But it's nice to see that when you do execute well and execute accordingly, you are rewarded. The byproduct of executing well is you get profits, you end green, you have a green day on following your rules too. And then the other side is if you don't respect your rules, then you lose accounts and you feel crappy. So it's always a push and pull game. But that's everything I wanted to, talk about for episode 2, with what I was looking forward today and the higher time frame through the lower time frame, and then my end of day status and PnLs for all of my accounts. I did actually see that Bulenox released an 83% off sale as they price matched Apex's 80% off sale. So if you guys want to check that out, of course, link in the description to grab a few if you like. But I'm so far enjoying the Project X platform. I can't really complain too much. Everything is pretty clean. I haven't had any glitches, haven't had any issues with my accounts, and everything's been pretty smooth. So hopefully everything continues to be smooth, and the goal now is to make sure I keep these 3 guys, because my next rebuild isn't until the end of the month. So even then I can't even have any more backup accounts, so to speak. So just gonna have to wait my turn for these to rebuild, unless Bulenox drops another 91% off, then I'll definitely snag a few at that point. But that's everything I want to cover for the Bulenox series specifically. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you're enjoying these new videos or this new content. As always, leave a comment down below if you guys have any thoughts about this or anything you want to talk about. But I really do appreciate your time and support. And as always, I wish you nothing but the best and the most success in all that you do. And I will see you all in the next video.